welcome from Planet Satyam. My name is Pramod Chandrasekhar, and this is an episode, a very special episode of a series called Success Lessons from the World of Sport. This particular episode is called Bouncing Back from Adversity. That's the theme, and we have a studio audience here also, and they're going to ask questions around that theme. But we have a very, very special guest. In fact, those are his initials. Very, very special. And that's the nickname given to this guest by none other than the great Ian Chappell. The great cricketing writer, Peter Roebuck, called him the unsung colossus of Indian cricket. And speaking about his 281 in 2001 at Calcutta, Sunil Gavaskar said, that marked the renaissance of Indian cricket in a way, and the renaissance of Indian cricket's batting strength in a way. So ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to our special guest, very, very special, VVS Laxman. Thank you very much, Laxman. I know this is your second visit to School of Leadership. You came about 4 or 5 months ago to School of Leadership. And so what's going on in your life since then? You had your daughter, I guess, after that.
Yeah, so quite sleepless nights.
Okay.
Since she was born, she was born November 27th. But it's a good feeling having a daughter. I think we got a complete family now, son and a daughter, and quite happy with that.
And this is your second child. You have a son who's older to the daughter, right?
Yeah, he's just about 2 years. His name is Sarvajit, and he's getting naughty by the day.
Oh, he is? That's quite unlike his dad, actually.
You're not sure.
So, Lakshman, let me start with the big question, and I'm sure this is a question I'm articulating on behalf of a lot of Satyamites here. I'm talking about this very 2001 series. And the Indian team went to Calcutta like underdogs, because there was a horrible defeat at Mumbai, 10-wicket loss to Australia. The Australian team was like a juggernaut. They were winning. They were about to conquer what they call the final frontier. And then you came up with this 281. Before I come to your individual attitude, I want to ask, how was the Indian team at that point of time, and how did their morale change?
Definitely after the Bombay Test match, the morale was down, no doubt about that. But to be very honest, I think we really prepared well for that series. But losing in 3 days was really not the kind of result we wanted. But saying that, we took the confidence that the Bombay Test match could have gone either way, except because of the partnership between Matthew Hayden and Gilchrist, which took the game away from us. I think it was evenly balanced till then. So when we reached Calcutta, I mean, the Indian media and Indian public, they go, if you do well, they take us to the sky, and if you don't do well, they'll just drop us like a hot potato. So I think definitely there was a lot of negativity surrounding us when we reached Calcutta. But because the preparation for the series was so good, we were really determined to do well and come back strongly in the Calcutta Test match against a very formidable Australian side, so-called, the modern invincible side, because they had 16 consecutive wins under their belt, and Steve Waugh termed that series as the final frontier for them, because they always wanted to come and win in India. So when we went to Calcutta, the morale was down, but everyone were quite optimistic that we'll bounce back and win the test match there.
That's very interesting. And when you're talking about the media, I wouldn't have understood you about a month and a half ago. Now I know what it is to be at the receiving end of the media. And so I just want to know, as a team, what exactly do you discuss? Do you find strength in each other? What goes on in your team meetings? And what went on? You hinted that there was some kind of an analysis and stuff like that. How do you motivate each other?
It's very simple. The simple and the biggest motivation for us is represent the country. I think it's a great honor for anyone representing the country. So that's the motivation for the entire team. And especially in circumstances like this, when the whole world is against you, even your so-called well-wishers are talking negative about you, who were quite positive about you probably when we had a good series. That's when I think the entire team comes closer, because it's ultimately what happens within the team which is important, because it's like a family. We call our cricket team as a second family, because most of the time we spend within ourselves. So we definitely had a lot of planning sessions. It's important to introspect what went wrong and prepare in a positive manner find out what were the shortcomings in the previous test match and work out the shortcomings of the Australians, because any team has definitely shortcomings. So we work out the weak points of their batsmen and the strong points of their batsmen, and accordingly develop the strategies, and also introspect and analyze our own weak points, whether it be batting or our bowling plans if we didn't stick to our plans. So, I firmly believe that the preparation is very important before the match, and the way you prepare eventually shows in the result. So I think we really prepared well before the Calcutta Test match.
That's interesting. And in spite of all that preparation that you just talked about, things were going bad. We had a follow-on, and before that, only 2 teams had ever won a match after going in for a follow-on. But you played pretty well in the first innings. You scored a 59, is that right? And then what was your attitude? What was your personal preparation when you went in to bat?
Firstly, I was quite happy that I got 59 runs in the first innings, especially the manner I got the 59 runs, because I was batting with the number 8, number 9 and number 10 batsmen, and I started dominating, and I was actually, even though they had defensive fields just to put me off strike, but I was able to get boundaries, and I was dominating on the third day morning of the test match. And when I was informed by John Wright immediately after I got out, when I went to the dressing room, John Wright came up to me and told that, would you like batting at number 3? And I said, I love batting at number 3, because that's where I batted right throughout my childhood and early days, and that's the slot where I enjoy batting. So I think John Wright thought that the nature of my game will actually put pressure on the Australians, and the manner I got my runs in the first innings made him to take the decision. And so when I went into bat, firstly, I wanted to start off from 0. It's very easy to start off, because that day morning itself, I got 59 runs. It's easy to start off from, say, 59. So it was very important for me to start from 0, again settle down, take my time, and take my time, and then eventually play my shots. And that's what I did. I settled down, and luckily we had a very good opening partnership between Das and Ramesh. And that actually laid the foundation for us. And I just went out and played my shots, and everything fell in place. And the one thing which I remembered was my knocks in domestic cricket, because when I was batting for Hyderabad, usually I was the mainstay of the Hyderabad batting lineup, and the previous season I had almost, I think, 11 consecutive hundreds for Hyderabad in the first class season, and in that I got one big triple hundred and one big double hundred. So I think I took the confidence from those innings that I was in a similar situation then, even though we were not following on, but my knock of 300 or 200 helped the team to win the game. So I just had the same thought processes what I had in those matches, which is very simple. Sometimes such situations will get the best out of you is because your mindset is very blank. You're actually not thinking too much, and you're just going out and following your instincts instead of thinking too much about what's going to happen in future. You're just thinking about what's your role at that present moment and concentrating and staying in the present, which is so important for all of us in various walks of life. Is staying in present and doing the best you can do in that moment. So I think that made the task very simple, and I just enjoyed and played my natural game.
Very, very meaningful. I mean, start from 0, staying in the present, focus on the present, take each ball as it comes. I've heard that being said too. But then it was not so easy. I mean, you make it sound so easy, Lakshman. Shane Warne, and he's a master strategist. We've seen him as the captain of Rajasthan Royals last year at the IPL. He's a great strategist. And he packed the leg side. And he was bowling on the footmarks outside the leg stump. And still you went and did the inside out and hit it in the vacant offside. I mean, how did you really work against these master strategists? Steve Waugh, Shane Warne?
Yeah, I'm sure Steve Waugh and Shane Warne may be not getting along, which they usually
After
don't
that
get along. No, I mean, I just played my natural game. I practiced, as I said earlier, that the preparation is so important. It wouldn't come just straight away in the match. I practiced those shots in nets. I had the privilege to practice against some quality spinners in Hyderabad, where you had Venkatpati Raju who played for the country, or Arshad Ayub, or Kanwaljit Singh, were top class spinners. So I practiced these shots day in and day out, and I was quite confident, because as I said, I was just following my instincts, and instincts come with preparation, and I played my natural game. I didn't play shots which were out of my book or repertoire, and I was very happy that I could frustrate someone like Shane Warne, who is always there on top of the batsman, who doesn't make the batsman's life easy on the crease, and so him getting frustrated was a great sight for me to see that day.
Was there sledging?
Yes and no, because after a stage, actually they were applauding each and every shot of mine, so initially yes, because myself and Rahul, we were the last recognized player, and they wanted to get at least one of us out, because then they could bowl to the tailenders, and they were definitely sledging, and they were trying to distract both of us, but saying that sometimes that works for you. And after a stage, they were, especially I remember Gilchrist applauding some of my shots, which sometimes helps, because you think that then the oppositions are quite helpless. And so it was a mixture of sledging and also applause from the opposition.
No wonder Gilly wanted to be with you in Deccan Chargers after he saw you bat that day. And talking about your preparation, after you crossed that great important milestone of 100 tests, Rahul Dravid wrote an article. He revealed a lot of secrets about you. And he said Lakshman is the quintessence of being cool and calm in the dressing room. He's always with a Walkman. I wonder if you read that article. And he said, and sometimes he even gets time for a nap. And I was just wondering, I want you to talk about it, because the rest of what we see is the Indian cricket. We see Ganguly biting his nails away. And you get time for a nap, you're cool and calm. How do you do that?
Well, again, it's a routine. Probably Ganguly biting his nails must be his routine. Yeah, whereas I follow various routines. It depends what kind of mindset I am in at that moment. I listen to a lot of books or read. I listen to a lot of music before going into bed, or sometimes take a nap. One of the psychologists told the importance of a power nap. So I try to take a power nap, but that's it ends up taking a longer nap than just 20 minutes, which is required for a power nap. So it's just keeping myself fresh, before going into bed, and sometimes. My colleagues get really amused with my ways of relaxing or preparing before going into bed. But that's what I've done over the years. Whether I'm playing a club match or whether I'm playing a first class match or a test match, that are the routines. And that's why I firmly believe that your routines, whatever gets you the results, you have to follow that. And these are some of the ways I keep myself fresh before going in. Because sometimes it happens where you watch the game continuously before going into bed, and if suppose there's a long partnership, you're mentally drained. It's as if you're actually going and batting, because you focus so much because of the intensity of the game. So it's always better to just wind away from the game and just relax. And I think the best form is either by taking a nap or listening to music, because you're diverting your attention from the actual game which is going on.
There's a lot to learn from you, Lakshman. I'm more the Ganguly kind. They hardly have any fingernails left. We're going to take questions from the audience, and I'm very grateful to you again for allowing this to happen and helping the audience to ask questions to you. But the first question I'd like to ask someone whom you've publicly acknowledged as your mentor, the person who's given you the initial push into cricket. And you know whom I'm speaking about, right? Mr. Baba Mohan. We're so proud of him being in Satyam, part of the HR team. We have to give him a big hand too, because he was instrumental in getting Lakshman into this arena, so to speak. So, Baba, do you have anything to ask Lakshman? I'm sure you have a lot of questions for him, but we'll allow you to ask one or two questions.
Yeah, Lakshman. My question to you is that I remember, when you went to South Africa, you were quite young at that time. You're doing very well. Playing in conditions in South Africa, which is not easy. And I remember, I think you were playing very well in your 30s or something when you, if I remember, it was Lance Klusner bowled the bouncer to you, and you tried to fend away, and then the ball hit your hand, and you were in severe pain, and you had to go out of the ground, and you fractured your arm, and you came back. I just wanted to, all of us, to hear from you how you felt at that point of time. What were your feelings that you were fractured from bouncer by a fast bowler, you were hurt, you were injured, you had to come back from a test series back to India, and what were your feelings at that point of time? And what did you do? What were your experience with your team when you had to come back with your leadership? And how did you recoup from that? And then from there on, I thought, of course, you were always a very good player of fast bowling. You really started relishing fast bowling. You play very well on bouncing tracks, especially in Australia and West Indies. I just wanted to know from you what were your feelings at that point of time. And I wanted you to share it with us.
Sure, I think it was a very disappointing moment for me because it was my fourth test match. I was playing in Joburg at the Wanderers and I fractured my hand. In fact, it was before even opening my account. And that was a moment any cricketer would prepare for, is to represent the country. And you want to play for your country for a long time. And suddenly, at the start of the fourth test itself, when you fracture and you know that you had to come back to India, missing the test series, I was really disappointed. And in fact, I started crying. I remember I was in the dressing room and the news came from the doctor that I fractured my hand and I required 4 weeks of rest to recover from that. So everyone came to know that I had to go back to India, and each one of the player came and started, tapping on my shoulder and saying that, it's okay, you'll be back for the next series, But I was really disappointed, and actually I was literally in tears. And when Sachin, who was the captain then, he came and he was the last one to come, because once everyone went out of the dressing room, he was the last one to come to me and said that, it's surprising that a youngster who's just 22 and on his first tour, that was my first overseas tour with the Indian team, when a youngster fractures his hand, and he starts crying because a lot of other cricketers he has played with actually would be happy leaving such a tough tour, So that was kind of encouragement from Sachin at that moment, and I said that, I always wanted to do well for the country, and when I got an opportunity, I felt at that moment that I'm going to miss something, But with experience, you learn that injuries are part and parcel of a sportsman, and it's but natural that when you're playing, and that's something which is beyond your control, where you get fractured while playing a short pitch delivery. But when I came back, yes, it was disappointing, especially when you're watching your teammates play on the television and you sit in your living room and watching them play, and you want to be in the thick of action. So, but it took time. It took me 4 to 5 weeks before I recovered totally. And the strange thing is, the next test series, I got selected. In fact, to the West Indies, I was selected as an opener, and I just fractured my hand, and I just recovered from that, and I'm going to play the new ball, especially when you have quality bowlers like Courtney Walsh and Ambrose or Bishop and Franklin Rose who are bowling at you. But that's something I always enjoyed. As my uncle asked, I always enjoyed playing fast bowling because from my childhood, whether it be at my school or in my uncle's place, we used to play on cement wickets. And at the various practice facilities in Hyderabad or various tournaments at the junior grade, I used to play on matting wickets. So on both these surfaces, usually the ball comes at a good pace, and also there is awkward bounce. So that's why I always loved playing fast bowling. And so from that incident in South Africa, I learned that injuries are part and parcel, but it's very important that you regroup yourself and you focus about what's going to happen in the future, and not think too much about the injury, and just recover from that and come back stronger the next time. But the passion for the country, or passion for representing the country, was evident to me at that moment, because I mean, without my knowledge, I just started crying, and that shows that how much I wanted the India cap, how much I wanted to represent the country, and so that was quite encouraging when Sachin came and told and observed that point, and observed that and told that it's great that someone doesn't want to leave South Africa and go back.
And that matches very well with a lot of what people say about you, that beneath that very calm exterior, there are nerves of steel and there's a very passionate spirit. And we're so glad that you bounced back and bounced back so many times in your career. Lakshman, we'll take a few questions from the audience now. Anyone who wants to ask a question, who would like to take any question? So you can just state your name. We got the first person here and then we'll come to you. In this case, it would be gents first.
Hi Lakshman, my name is Shoaib. Last year when you were given the charge of the Deccan Chargers team, so being a good test player and having not had the good experience in 2020 cricket, so what was your take on the 2020 cricket and leading the Deccan Chargers? And what do you think were the reasons for the dismal performance of the team?
Firstly, 2020 is a great format of cricket. Because I played 4 games of 2020 before playing the IPL. All the 4 games were played in England. I played for my county, Lancashire, and I represented Lancashire. And I really enjoyed that format. And I was really pleased when I was made the captain for IPL for Deccan Chargers, and we had a very formidable side. So firstly, to answer your first question, I was personally looking forward to do well in that tournament because, as I said, it was a huge tournament with a lot of hype, and it was going to be a huge responsibility for everyone in the side to win the games for the team. So personally I wanted to prove myself in 2020 format, test my skill set as a 2020 player, and because everyone thought that we test players cannot fit into the 2020 scheme. But I was quite happy with the way I played in the 6 games. Unfortunately, I injured and I can fracture my hand at the end of the 6th game. But I was quite happy with the way I was adjusting to that format. And I started scoring runs at a brisk pace. I was having a strike rate of almost 120, 125, which is quite good in 2020 format. Secondly, as far as the dismal performance of the Deccan Chargers team is, unfortunately, we as a unit didn't perform. We had great players, stalwarts who have done well at international level for the various countries, who represented the countries with great distinction. But ultimately, it shows that it's not the names which are important, but it shows that it's a contribution from each one of us, which makes a difference for the team. So it was unfortunate that we were not able to perform and play to our potential. But saying that, I'm sure that in the second edition we'll definitely play to our potential and give a better performance for the team and the Hyderabad crowd.
Thanks very much, Lakshman. We are hoping for the best for the next outing of the Deccan Chargers. We're already flooded with stickers all around the place. I am charged, that's what the stickers say. Our next question is from Anu Kendri, and over to you, Anu.
Yeah, hi Lakshman, thanks for talking to us. My question is about the various captains that you worked with in the cricket team. What is the difference in their leadership styles, and what do you have to do to adapt to that?
I think when you're playing for a team, it's bound to happen where you play under different captains, especially when you're playing. When you played for almost 12 to 15 years at the international level, and I firmly believe that every captain has got a different leadership skills. He comes with a different kind of skill set. Some are aggressive, some are cool and calm, but still internally aggressive. But when you represent the country, we all feel that everyone in the team is like a leader. Because we all in the Indian team have performed for our states at various age group level, and have come through the ranks of playing for under 16s, under 19s, under 22s, and then you get picked for the country. So everyone in the team are like a leader, and so everyone contributes. Because I firmly believe that the more number of leaders are there in the team, the more number of ideas come out, and you can prepare much better, and you can I firmly believe that you can help the team, to perform with distinction.